right, hello everyone. I'm Fred Oakman here with Mr. Jake Peters. You're listening to PS. This is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 385, where we dive into our thoughts on all things PlayStation. Before we jump in, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/PS. This is Awesome, where you can also watch the video version of the podcast. You can check out our trophy lists on the PlayStation Network. I am Anchorless_81 and Jake is JakeSaw01. You can send your thoughts to psthisisawesome@gmail.com. You can share the show with your friends. And please don't forget to give us a rating. This podcast airs for free every Wednesday on your preferred streaming platform. But for those who sign up to our Patreon for just $1 a month, you can join the one and only $1 Club and receive a free die-cut vinyl sticker plus a shout-out on the show. And most times you also get the show a day or two early. Visit patreon.com/psthisisawesome to support us and join the one and only $1 Club. Remember, if you like our podcast, it does us a ton of good if you can like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. And with that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing this Monday evening?
I'm doing okay. There seems to be some kind of bug going around that's just kind of like half making people sick. Like I know over the weekend, Saturday specifically, I woke up with a headache and my stomach was bugging me all day. And I thought, because I had like 2 drinks on Friday night. And I was like, oh, maybe this is just like a weird, maybe I was dehydrated and this is just like a weird, like random hangover. Cause like I wasn't even drunk or anything. It was just like over the course of like 4 hours, I had 2 drinks. And, but I was like, oh, maybe it's something there. Yeah. And then yesterday I still was feeling kind of like, I still had kind of a headache and I was still kind of feeling a little weird. And then today even, my stomach, it's not like, it just feels unsettled. Like I'm not nauseous. I'm not like gonna shit my pants or anything, but it's like, you know what I mean? Where it just feels unsettled. Like it's something just isn't right.
Yeah, you feel like gassy or bloated or something's just off.
There's something, yeah. And I was talking to another guy at work and he was telling me, he's like, man, I've been feeling like this for the past day or so. And he's like, and a couple other people I've been hanging out with are feeling the same way. And I'm just like,
weird.
I mean, unless it's like the other thing I was thinking is like maybe it's like like it sounds weird because of stomach stuff, but maybe it's like an allergy thing because like the weather's been so freaking hot and humid and like I mowed on Friday because this is the other thing I thought maybe it was. I mowed on Friday and the grass was just super dry and I was getting hit in the face with all these bugs and shit. And I was like, well, maybe it's something related there, but I don't know. But I'm not doing too bad. I had to, it's funny, I had to adjust, this is a complete non sequitur, but I had to adjust my microphone when we got on because my computer, I installed Windows 10 on my gaming PC and I had to, basically Windows 10, they want you to upgrade to Windows 11. That's what they want you to do. Windows 11, in my opinion, as a quote-unquote power user, Windows 11 is a fucking dumpster fire. Just in, like, its UI and, like, how it works. You can't find anything. Everything's like a fucking web page. Nothing works the way it's supposed to. Nothing works the way that it used to. And so every single time, it'd be like, do you want to upgrade to Windows 11? I'm like, nope. Every time. Never had a problem. Well, Microsoft apparently just got to the point where they said fuck it and they just forced it. So I had no option and it just upgraded my computer to Windows 11 without even asking me this time. And so of course, you know, I'm finding stuff that it like reverted back to default or it didn't, you know, update properly. Thankfully we got on and like all the drivers and shit were still good for my audio interface. And it was just that I had to reset my microphone source in Discord, but it's so, dude, I'm getting so fed up with just like the culture of like apps and operating systems and phones and everything now. I feel like it's gotten so bad how it all works. Like everything you buy now has to have an app associated with it. You can't go to a concert without having a smartphone anymore because they refuse to take paper tickets. It's like the freaking, like in Windows 11 now, all the settings pages, they're just like websites. They're not even like native fucking pages anymore. Like it's really, really irritating.
Yeah.
And just as someone who's been using Windows since freaking Windows 3.1 or whatever the fuck in like 1992. And so it's incredibly frustrating. And I'm sure, I mean, I don't know anything about Mac. I mean, it seems like they have a little bit more of a stranglehold on their stuff. But like, I'm sure even their crap has changed. I mean, I know you've had issues with like hardware not being supported after a certain amount of time because Apple does that thing where they do like planned obsolescence on all their shit, and they're really not even that shy about saying it. They want you to upgrade to the newest hardware and all that kind of stuff. But it's just frustrating. I mean, it's like this stuff wasn't even developed by people in America that use it. It's like they just farmed it out to some freaking, programming team in India or something like that who have no concept on the way of like how people actually prefer to use computers. But this is a very myopic point of view. This is just how my experience has been completely uprooted on how I use computers on a daily basis, especially with work and stuff. And it's incredibly frustrating. And I know it's kind of like tangentially related to the whole argument now about like whether or not people own their software and freaking, subscription services and all that's kind of like part of the culture now. And like you can't buy anything anymore. You have to subscribe to it, and everything is, so much stuff now is ad revenue, and like a lot of stuff you can't even buy. You just have to fucking watch the ads. It's really frustrating. YouTube has developed a monopoly on online video streaming. And so it used to be when we started out, there were no ads on YouTube. And then there was like a little bit of ads on YouTube to now where it's like you want to go watch a YouTube video, you got to watch fucking a minute's worth of ads before they'll let you watch a video. They want to force you into YouTube Premium, which, to be honest, at whatever it is, $10 or $12 a month is not that. It's actually probably a pretty good deal if you watch a lot of YouTube. But I certainly get a lot more use out of it than I do out of like Netflix. But I don't know. It's just sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. I just was thinking about the whole Windows 11 thing and how I've just been like, dude, every single day at work, this guy I work with, we call him Clamps. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Dude, him and I will just be yelling at each other across the office about a new totally fucked up thing about Windows 11 that we found that makes no sense. And it's such a like stupid thing to be irritated about. But when it's like, I'm at work, I'm trying to be productive, and all I need to do is like change the IP address on my laptop, and I can't fucking find it because the menus are all screwed up and nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah.
It's really, really frustrating. Like I wish that they would just like, because here's the dirty little secret. The way that they keep all this stuff compatible, and the reason why Windows 11 is like 60 gigabytes, is because they have the interfaces of Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8. All of that is in the background installed with Windows 11. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why can I not just choose, like, give me the OS interface of Windows 7? Like, why can't I just have that? But it's not. They want you to. I don't know. I'm done. I digress.
Oh, it's fine. It's valid. It's a very valid,
it's just frustrating. But how are you? I know you've been really ripping and tearing at your house today, I guess.
Yeah, just been real busy, dude. Just up in the attic doing shit, dude.
It's hot as fuck up there, I bet.
Yeah, there's no ventilated soffit. I was pulling tons of shit out of my attic for reasons I won't get into, but dude, it's fucking hot as shit out today. I got an early jump on stuff. I've got off work today through Wednesday to get stuff done around my house. There's just never enough time in the day to do stuff, and it's just like I gotta do it. I just gotta get stuff done. needless to say, I'm good. Dude, I did do something that really pissed me off, and I think it would piss anybody off. And I will get into it right now. So the car I have, it's fine, don't worry. But the car I have has some pretty nice. I've never had a car with rims. I've never needed a car with rims. But the car I wanted only came with rims. You know, I'm fine with a hubcap. I don't need to be that guy. But that being said, I pulled up to a curb, dude, and I got a little fucking scratch on my shiny black rim on the passenger front side, and it's pissing me off. So I went all over the internet trying to figure out, well, what do you do to fix this? Because I'm not going to buy a $350 rim to replace it. You know what I mean? It's just annoying. And there's all these different fixes, and they have this stuff specifically for this. So I ordered it, but it won't be in until August 1st somehow. And it's, the 14th of July right now, so it's going to take 2.5 weeks. I bet you I could go to AutoZone and just buy it. But that's another thing with the convenience factor of all this stuff. Is like I get into the mindset that like, oh, I'll just find it on Amazon. You know what I mean? And just buy the thing. And I found what I think I need. And I mean, it's not even that bad. It's noticeable to me, and anyone would notice it if you knew where to look. But it just kind of pisses me off. And I'm not even sure. I don't even think, like, it wasn't that I pulled too close to the curb. I believe it's while I was pulling away and I turned the wheel to pull away is when I scratched it. And I'm just kind of fucking...
So, like, you turned the wheel into the curb?
The other way. So it's the passenger side, but when you turn it, the back side of the wheel goes in if you're turning left. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it turned in there, and when I accelerated, it scratched it. And I'm just like, well, fuck, I don't want anyone to sideswipe me because no one pays attention anymore. And I was on the road, and I was like, what are you supposed to do? How am I supposed to keep my nice thing nice? But anyways, that kind of ticked me off, and it's been in the back of my mind now. It happened like 2.5 days ago. But it looks relatively easy. You just get some sand, some different grades of sandpaper, and just sandpaper over the area that's scratched. And then they give you this touch-up shit, and it's supposed to look pretty much unnoticeable. I saw other guys use like gloss black Rust-Oleum, and they just masked off their entire car and just and you couldn't tell. And I'm just like, maybe it's not that big of a... I mean, you probably... Yeah, I mean, as long as it's the same color. I just don't want that shit. I don't want to put anything on that's going to come off in a car wash. You know what I mean? I want to have some shit that's going to stick. I don't want to be having to patch up this little area for the rest of my life. So anyways, that happened. We did play Hero Quest. We started the... Oh, what's it called? It's the ice one. The Frozen Horror campaign. We've gotten through so many quests now. It's awesome. I had the Hero Quest group back on Sunday evening. That was fine. I'm trying to think what else I've been getting into that is not video game related. I played a concert on Friday out at Buccia Vineyard. Dude, it was so hot, and I was outside. When I was running late, there was a tree down on 98, and there was no storm, no reason. It was just down. Here's another thing about technology that pisses me off. I'm driving. I'm perfectly on time to get to Buccia, which is in Ohio. It's a winery that I play, and the Floods played there. And Bill's a great guy. He runs it, and shout out to Bill. But I'm never late to these things, and I'm always on time, usually with wiggle room. And I'm cruising, and I only know one way to get there, and it's the way the GPS always takes me. And I'm going, and then there's this fucking huge tree just laying across the road. Like, no one's getting around it. And there's already some people on scene to try to cut it up and get it off the road. And there's like a cop, an auxiliary police guy directing traffic, and a cop. And I go past the cop, give him a nice little hey, all right. And then I tell my GPS to reroute, and it reroutes me, and I take a right turn thinking I'm going to get past the tree, get back on 98 and go. Well, I'm driving, and then I come back up on 98, and then now the tree's right in front of me. So it didn't reroute. It just rerouted me around nothing. So then I had to drive back the other direction, wave at the cop again, and then I pull off, and I pull up all these different routes, and I found one that looked like it was going to take me really out of the way. And I'm driving back the way I came, taking these different roads. I go up this fucking hill. I come out. I'm back in front of the fucking tree. I go back. I wave at the cop. Hey. And I'm just like, why can't the GPS... This tree either fell in a place that there was no road that could get you around it, or I'm an idiot. Because I tried so many different things, and I stopped and I just called Bill up Abuchi. I said, Bill, I'm in Meadville still. I should have been 25 minutes closer to where you're at, and I'm still in town. And I said, and there's tons of traffic because this tree's down. No idea why it's down. There's no storm. There's no wind. There's nothing. It's just down. And it just really ticked me off. So ultimately, I just went up on 79 and took the Albion exit and then took 6N from there. But it set me back. I was being stubborn because I'm like, there's got to be a way to get me on the other side of this tree. And I couldn't figure it out. I zoomed out on the map. I'm looking. I'm like, I don't see how this can happen. So anyways, for better or for worse, I rely way too heavily on my GPS anymore when I drive. And I'm starting to realize that if I ever had to go somewhere, I don't know street names. I don't know whether I'm heading east, north, west. You know what I mean? I have no clue anymore. I just look at the map and I just plug in an address and go. And we're all becoming mindless idiots because of technology.
Don't include me in this particular argument, because I am. You can even ask Sarah. I'm very good about just like finding my way if I need to. Like if I was in that scenario that you were in, I wouldn't even ask the GPS. I'd zoom out on the map and be like, okay, if I take this road, then this road, I'll get around it, and then my GPS will just keep going. Yeah. And then I would just do that. I wouldn't even ask the GPS to reroute it. And I think that's the problem, is that the GPS has no fucking idea that there's a tree there.
Right.
So it's trying to like take you that same route every single time, or some version of it.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, I'm not one of these people who thinks that like, oh, things were better when we had fucking paper maps and shit like that. Obviously, GPS is way better. It's awesome. But I think that you should know how to read a map and follow the roads.
I can definitely read a map. It was one of those things that I agree with you. Everybody should know how to read a fucking map in an atlas and get around the highways and understand how they're structured, and you know. But what is it? Is it that the even interstates are left and right, west and east and west, and then the odds are north and south,
north and south,
So like there's at least you got to know that much, but impart a little bit of knowledge on you. But I just, not you, but listeners maybe. But dude, we have a truck driver I think who listens from time to time. He could fucking run circles around me as far as directions. I used to tour a lot. We always used our maps. We didn't tour in an era where GPSs were really a thing. We had a Garmin, but we had to keep loading the different states as we traveled, and you know, Starbucks weren't really a thing. Wi-Fi wasn't a thing. You have to download it. Dude, it was a process. We didn't really use it. We had one, but we didn't use it. But anyways, I agree. But I just think in general, man. And then like, I don't know. So that was a thing. The show was nice, but when I had Bill on the phone, he goes, well, I do want to let you know, man, having some electrical issues on the stage outdoors, so we may put you in the patio tonight. And I'm thinking, thank God, you know, because outdoors, that sun will hit you for 2 hours, 6 to 9 when you're out there. There's like no tree cover. It's just, I'm like, all right, cool. And I get there, and sure as shit, they had the electric fixed. And he's like, you're on the stage. And then, dude, I forgot the bag that has all the cords for my PA. I had everything else in my car. I've never forgotten a thing. So the tree was down. I get there late. I'm playing outside. I'm already covered in sweat. And then I don't have my fucking bag of cords that I need to set my PA up. But I was able to at least direct into one of the monitor or one of my speakers. It didn't sound great. And then there wasn't even many people there. And luckily, my folks are like my biggest fans, our biggest fans, whatever. And they always try to hit our shows. And they were coming. And I called my dad like immediately. And I was like, dude, how far are you? He goes, well, we're running behind. I'm like, perfect. I said, can you stop by the house and grab this bag of cords? It'll save the second half of my set. And he goes, yeah, that's fine. Dude, I would have been fucking so mad. But here's another cool thing, man. While I was there, Bill used to live in Nashville. I don't know if you know this. Bill, the guy who runs Buccia, he used to live in Nashville, and he had a guy there working with him, digging. They were trying to run more electric to that big picnic area they have back there, and so they're digging this huge trench, and he's got this guy working with him, and this guy was a songwriter in Nashville in like the '80s, in the '70s and '80s, maybe '80s and '90s. I don't know, but he goes by Bird. And he was talking to me, and he was a Nashville songwriter. Dude, I don't know how many of these Nashville songwriters I ran into in the last year. There's Bill Luther, the guy I played a set with down at wherever it was in Conneaut Lake. Surprise set. I just jumped in, and we shared some songs, and he'd written Tim McGraw songs and all kinds of crazy shit that he's doing all right. And then there's the Tony Arata, the Garth Brooks guy who wrote The Dance. Yeah. And then I ran into this Bird guy in Conneaut, Ohio, and he wrote some bangers. And Bill vouched for him. I know it's all real. He wrote a song by the Bellamy Brothers had. That was his first hit. He said, like, he was used to getting... And if anybody is a member of these musicians' guilds, like myself, they won't pay you until you've accrued $100 or more in royalties. So you get these notices of how much money is in your account, and you're just like, man, just... maybe in like 3 more quarters, I'll get my payment. You know what I mean? And you're just waiting. And he said he was a songwriter in Nashville before he had any songs that this Bird guy was telling me. And he said he and a buddy of his were writing tons of songs and recording. They were doing the hustle, and they were writing for other people, and they do studio sessions with people and all this stuff. And he got his ASCAP check in the mail. And he opened it expecting to see like $80 or something, you know, like he wasn't even going to get paid yet. And it was $34,000. and he was like, dude, he goes, I couldn't believe it. He goes, it was the most, I didn't know what happened. I didn't know why. I thought it was a mistake. And he goes, so I called the guy that helped me write that song. And I said, hey, yo, did you get your thing from ASCAP this quarter? And the guy was like, yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. And he goes, what? He goes, dude, go open it. And the other guy had $34,000 too, sitting there in a check. And dude, that's the way songwriting works, man. These guys that write these hits, they get paid out really good when they have a hit, but it doesn't last forever. And then it just keeps them in the game, and then they blow all the money or whatever, you know, and then they're back to trying to write another hit. But if you get one, your credibility is heightened, and then more people want to work with you. And those people are tied to bigger artists, and then your chances of just being a better, you know, making more money doing it increase with your, you know, you need that first one. But this guy, he toured. This guy toured with some big names, but I mean, he's an old dude now, so he didn't really have much to say. I don't even think he even listened to me play, to be honest. But he was just digging this trench. Maybe he listened while I was playing, but he chatted me up for a bit. So I've met 3 Nashville songwriters. I didn't meet Tony Arata, to be clear, but had interactions with 3 hit songwriters this year, which is just random and fucking weird. I wouldn't expect that to have happened. Not in close. And then on an aside, real quick, Jake, I think you saw, but Pig Hill, the movie that I have a song in, is premiering at Fright Fest in London, England. I believe it's London. No, hold on. Wait. Let me find the poster for it. I misspoke. Let me see where it is exactly. Pig Hill. Let me see here. Here it is. It says Fright Fest, yeah, August 23rd, 2025, premiering in London. Yeah, so I was right. The poster's awesome. Did you see the poster? Did I send it to you?
Yeah, it looks cool.
It looks rad. So I don't know how that's going to go, how that's going to work. I'll have to check ASCAP and make sure I'm on the cue sheet for that. Get a little royalties for the showing. That'd be kind of cool. But anyways,
It'd be neat.
yeah. So that happened. I do get royalties from them. I average about $100 a year from royalties, which isn't bad. But it's not anything to really brag about. But it is cool. But that being said, dude, I don't have a whole lot else going on in my life. I've been watching a couple funny people on Instagram. I've been sucked into some of these channels. One's kind of cool. One's a dude that talks about being in a band, and he speaks really really clearly. And he I don't agree with everything he says, but he has a lot of really cool insight about being in a band and different things you should think about. And, you know, if you really want to be successful, or if you want to like up your game or whatever. And I've kind of been falling into his tar pit trap, and it's been interesting. So his stuff always pops up on the algorithm now, and his short videos are like maybe a minute, 2 minutes or whatever. He's just very direct, and he has an interesting way of talking, I think, and some good suggestions and ideas. But outside of that, I've been following 2 comedy people on Instagram I'll talk about real quick. And this is just a plug because I think they're funny. There's a dude in Toledo who goes by Shy and Awkward Guy, and he's a funny dude. I think his humor is hilarious. And he's a comedian. I believe he's a comedian. He does some stand-up. And he invented what, you know, like people will do like food reviews and stuff on their shorts and stuff. This guy kind of does that, but he also has a thing he calls the quick bite. And so he'll pull out like a Slim Jim. I'm like, well, we're looking at the blah, 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 blah. And he opens it up, you know, and he's just looking at the camera, and he goes, and he takes one really fast bite, straight-faced, and then he'll just go, whoo, like he'll do one of these and give you one of these and whistle and stuff, and that's the video. But then, like, he'll mix it up, and he'll have one of a pizza slice that's huge, and it's delicious looking. He'll be like, oh, I was in Ann Arbor or Toledo or Detroit or something, because they're close to the Detroit or Michigan. But and he's always sitting in his car, and he's like, with a piece like this, you can't do a quick bite with something like this. You gotta sit and savor it. And he just takes a bite, and it's everyone's expecting a quick bite. It doesn't happen, dude. He's funny, and there's a couple clips, and he kind of has a Mitch Hedberg delivery on his stand-up clips. One of the ones that had me just dying, dude. And he's playing these really small clubs, dude, like so small. And I would love to go see this guy live. But he gets up in front of the mic, and he just goes, so I've been living in my dad's basement. And he goes, and he's living in his basement too. And that's it. And it's the funniest freaking thing, because you just don't expect that to be the punchline, and it's just silence, but everybody's just dying, you know. He's got a really good delivery. He's from Toledo, and he'll do cameos and stuff too. He'll do shout outs for like $30. I'm thinking about doing one just for my own entertainment, man. I love this guy. Shy and Awkward Guy. He's funny. And then there's one other guy, I don't even know. It's a dude who's an actor, but he does comedy stuff, and it's probably not for everybody. In fact, I'm sure it's not. His humor's not for everybody, but I found him. So these are the things that suck my time up, listeners. I'll give you this guy's handle, and you can go watch some of his stuff real quick if you want. But he's on Instagram, and it's Wayne County, Wayne, and then County, and Life, but with a Y, Lyfe. And this dude does like the poser gangster, you know, that everybody is familiar with, that stereotype of the guy who thinks like he's a gangster, but he's not. He does like the dad routine, and there's like a scene where he's short, where he's wearing a vest and he's got shorts on. And he goes, hey, man, I know you might be judging me, my guy, but, you know, I'm an adult. I can wear whatever I want. You know, I think the vest you want to tell me the vest doesn't look good with the shorts? Go ahead, man. I don't care. I'm going to wear it. I think I'm a trailblazer, man. And he's sitting there. He looks ridiculous. And he's got these bits, and they're all funny to me. And I would recommend maybe if you're looking for a laugh, maybe he'll annoy the shit out of you. But I love his videos because he's joking and he's funny as hell. And they're real short and they're easy to consume, his videos. But that's what I've been into lately. I haven't watched anything. I started Squid Game. Actually, I started Squid Game, the latest, the last season here. That's on Netflix, and it's all right also. But that aside, let's get into some video game talk. We don't have a ton, and I think we say this every episode where I was like, yeah, we don't have a ton of news points. But in reality, we've got about six little news points. But first, I want to talk about games we're playing. No difference with me. I'm still playing Death Stranding 2. I'm 40 hours in. I'm only through 6 chapters, and I think there's like 17. This game is I just get sucked into the... Dude, what's it called? The gameplay loop. I'm sucked into the gameplay loop. And how Kojima does it is you help these preppers out. You get yourself, it's like the first game, you get yourself on the chiral network, and then they'll give you something and say thank you. And then they'll give you more deliveries to do. And then your delivery for them is like way across somewhere. And you're like, well, if I do this, then I'm going to get more likes from this person, and then maybe I'll get a new tool or something else I can do. So you grab the item, you go the whole way across the map, you deliver something, and then the person you deliver it to gives you some likes. And then they're like, and then you see that you're so close to getting the next item. You're like, well, what else can I do? So then you go on like a little search for like random lost cargo, or like you take on a job from them, and it sends you the whole way across somewhere else. And you go and you do it, and then you deliver it, and then that person gives you likes, and it's just like you're getting these likes, and you're slowly building up your rapport with these different preppers in the area. And then while you're traveling, you might see like a pavement, an auto paver, and you're like, oh, if I just like next stop, if I just get enough ceramic and I get enough metal, then I can just build a road and it'll make this whole process quicker. So then you go from wanting to deliver stuff to wanting to build a road, and then you go to the closest thing, you collect the materials, and you're short like 200 material, and you're like, I gotta go find that. And then you're just constantly fucking railed, right? Every little thing you do, and then you find an animal. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to get this animal and deliver it to so-and-so because they're looking for animals, right? And then you're like, and then you get a mission from them. And then it's like, take out these BTs. And you're like, well, okay. And then you get a new weapon. And then you're like, oh, I want to go back and see if I can get the new thing from this other guy. It's like, I could have advanced the story probably 15 hours ago. But I'm just in this loop. But I'm not complaining about the loop because I'm enjoying the loop. And it's so satisfying to build the roads. It's satisfying to be able to traverse from prepper to prepper more easily. It's satisfying to have the offloader thing, the big vehicle that you can put all your fucking shit in and just ride around on the roads in. This is the same as Death Stranding 1. I'm not spoiling anything. But dude, I'm in the loop right now, and I got to break out of it. I got to break out of the loop. I saw a couple spoilers on accident that came across. You know, like when you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see like somebody's short. And because I'd been looking into Death Stranding, the first Death Stranding stuff to kind of recap on a couple things, it's now throwing me Death Stranding 2 shorts. And just, you get the image of what the short is. And I saw one of the preppers, and I saw Norman Reedus doing something hilarious. And I'm like, I want to know how to make this thing happen that I saw a little picture of. And now I'm just trying to like figure out how to do it without spoiling what it actually is, what it's going to be. And it's just like, man, I'm in deep. I love it. Not a ton of time in my life, but I've managed to put a little over 40 hours into this game in the last 2 weeks. So to me, that's quite a bit of fucking gaming. I'm having a hard time breaking away from it. I think about it all the time. Jake, what about you? That's all I'm playing.
So yesterday I finished Doom: The Dark Ages.
Oh.
So I'm finally done with that. It's great. It's a really good game. I mean, obviously, I've talked a little bit about some of the things that I kind of don't like so much about this particular iteration of Doom, but I love how, dude, by the end of the game, you really feel like a fucking boss just running around, just destroying dudes because of all the shit you unlock, and you just get better at playing the game and stuff. And I really did enjoy it. I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I wasn't so hung up on like finding as many of the secrets as possible the whole time I was playing the game. I feel like I could have got done a lot faster if I didn't do that. But every level I played, I tried to find all the secrets if I could. And so it took a little bit more time than expected. But that said, I still really did enjoy it. I ended up really liking the gameplay loop. I kind of liked the parry mechanic, and then because they had like this, they added this like rune system where I don't remember if I talked about this before, but like if you parry a ranged attack, like if an enemy launches a projectile at you and you parry it, there are this rune that you can equip. There's a few different ones that you can equip, and it'll do like a counter attack automatically. And one of them is like if you parry a projectile, then a turret shows up on your shoulder and just starts shooting shit.
Oh wow.
And it's like, and you can like upgrade it so it gets really powerful and stuff. So you're just like running around just blasting dudes, and you can freaking like when stuff gets launched, you like hit it, and then when you get into a rhythm and you're like hit the projectile, and now your gun's like mowing dudes down, and it's a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoy it. I like that they don't force you. I'm kind of like torn a little bit. I think I lean on the favor of liking the fact that they don't force you to use all of your weapons like they did in Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
In Doom Eternal, you had to be able to use every single weapon because of ammo scarcity and how it was distributed and blah, 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 blah. In Doom the Dark Ages, you can pretty much stick with one or two guns for the entire game if you want, especially later when you unlock like all of like their maximum ammo count and all this stuff. And I think I was talking about this last week maybe, where it was like the gun where it like crushes skulls and like shoots fucking fragments.
Yeah.
There's the second iteration of it where it's like almost like a Gatling gun, where it starts slow, but it like builds up and gets really fast. And it's a much more tight fire spread, or like a bullet pattern.
Okay, I know what you mean.
And it has this it has this unlock where if you upgrade it to a certain point while you're shooting an enemy, that enemy is dropping ammo for that gun. So like it's not dropping it at the rate that you're using it, so you're still like slowly using all of your ammo up. But dude, you can just run with this fucking gun for like a long period of time, and when it builds up to full speed, it does a ton of damage. So I had a lot of time playing with that, and I always like in the Doom games, my favorite gun is usually always like the plasma rifle, or whatever they call it in whatever version of the game you're playing. I can't remember what they called it in this one. I think they call it the accelerator or some shit like that. Yeah, that gun was good in this game. They had this weird like ball and chain gun. Did I talk about this before?
I don't
where it's
think
like
so.
a gun that's literally like a chain chomp from Mario, where like
that's kind of cool.
it's a gun with a cannonball in it, but it's on a chain. So it shoots the cannonball out, but it's like on a chain. And it has this thing where you can like
It's
charge
like
it
a
up, and then
flail
when
or
you
something.
kind of, but you don't swing it around. It just shoots straight out.
Yeah.
And it has this thing where you charge it up, and when you charge it up, it will do more damage whenever you fire it, almost like it's, you know, you're like pulling back a bow or something. And but there's this unlock for it where when you parry an enemy attack, it instantly fully charges that gun. So you can like have that gun equipped that full like parry an attack, and it's fully charged, shoot a bad guy, and then so you're doing like tons of damage by just fighting these enemies that you're constantly parrying and then shooting and parrying and then shooting. It's an interesting kind of gameplay style. Honestly, I don't know. It might technically be my least favorite of the 3 modern Doom games, but it's hard to say because I really did enjoy it, especially at the end. But I think as a fully well-rounded package, I think most people are going to say Doom Eternal is their favorite. I personally think that the first Doom from 2016 is the best one, but that's because I like the linear nature of it, the more story-driven kind of components to it. This game has a lot of like story and cinematic and shit that's just kind of off the wall and weird. But and like they unmask the Doomslayer in this game, which I really don't appreciate. I hate when fucking games do that. Yeah. It's just briefly. And then there's this whole like level right after that where I'm not going to spoil it, but like he gets all weird and shit. I don't love it. But the gameplay is still really fun. I still really enjoyed that part of it. So yeah, I beat that. And so this morning I actually I actually downloaded Death Stranding 2. So I have it installed.
Ooh. Now, did you buy it?
Well, my brother and I do game share, and he bought it. So I downloaded it just through him.
That makes sense.
But I decided because I knew Death Stranding was going to be like a production to get into this fucking game because of all the cutscenes and all the shit that you have to do to get into a Kojima game. So I decided that for now, I'm just going to play some Lies of P because I do have that installed and I did kind of start playing it briefly. So I started playing it again this morning. I actually restarted it because I started it, I don't know if you guys, if people remember, maybe I started it a few weeks ago and just played like the first 20 minutes of it and then quit. Well, I started it back up. I was like, I'm just going to start it over. I'm going to keep going with it. And I'm really digging it so far. It's not... I don't know that I'm in the right mind space for this game right now. One of the things that's really bugging me about it at the moment is how fucking slow you move in the game. And that's probably partially because I'm coming off of Doom.
Oh, yeah,
but,
for sure.
Dude, freaking P moves so goddamn slow when he's just walking around the map. And they do this dumb shit like they do in Souls games where if you want to run, you have to hold down the circle button. So you can't run and move your vision at the same time. Because you're using your thumb to hold down the fucking circle button, you can't look with your thumb. So like it's like, okay, I want to just be able to... Now maybe there's a control setting I haven't looked, so nobody write in or fucking scold me for it. But like I'm like playing it, I'm like, I just want to click the run button and be able to just run around until I run out of stamina. Like why? Like I don't know. But the combat's interesting. It seems like it's like pretty unforgiving. It's like very Soulsy and like you get hit a couple times and it takes like most of your health away. So I get the feeling that I'm almost certainly gonna end up dropping down the difficulty just to kind of stick with the game and experience it a little bit more. But I did start it, so I wanted to mention that.
Cool.
But I haven't gotten super far. Maybe like a half hour, 40 minutes into it.
All right. I love that. I love that you're spreading your wings, doing something a little bit different, flying out.
I do want to play Death Stranding. I don't know if I'll be able to resist, but I do want to give this game a fair shake because I did promise a listener I'd try it out.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're doing it. I'm just updating our podcast synopsis real quick. Okay, very good. All right, well, let's move into some show topics here. There's no listener feedback again this month. Remember, you can always write us at psisawesome@gmail.com, comment on our YouTube videos, give us a heads up, let us know what you're playing, what you're into. But let's jump into the first news point, Jake. I have a quick news story here regarding Cory Barlog, the some would argue the mastermind of God of War reboot. And there's a ton of buzz around what he's working on next. Jason Schreier at Bloomberg hinted it might not be a new IP after all. So I guess the question is, do you think he's working on more God of War? Is it something different? Nobody online seems to have a clue what's happening. And I guess my opinion is that it would be silly for him not to be doing more God of War. This seems to be one of the things that is a sure bet for Sony right now. So I would hope that it's a God of War game for their sake.
Well, I think that, like, I thought that he was, even throughout the development or the end of the development of Ragnarok, I thought he was separately working on, because he didn't direct Ragnarok like he did the first one.
Correct.
So I think the rumor was that he was working on a separate project. So I would be surprised almost if it was a God of War game and not. Now, maybe it's another game in the God of War universe. Maybe it's a side story or something like that. But I think he is working on, or was at least working on, a separate game outside of God of War Ragnarok, at least at the time. So I'm not really sure what he's working on. But
yeah,
I know that they had like some sci-fi game that got canceled. So I don't know. I hope it's something interesting. Like, I want to see something new. I'm sick of seeing the same shit over and over again.
I think you might be right, because I looked into it a little bit just now, and apparently there was a 2022 interview he did with GQ, and he confirmed that what he's working on is not another God of War, at least not directly, and he is leading a new creative team at Santa Monica Studio, and but Jason Schreier's was the dude who has broken a lot of news, and he has said that what Cory's working on might not be a completely new IP, and that kind of contradicts earlier speculation based on what Cory said. There are fans that kind of think that maybe this could be sci-fi or something, but there hasn't been anything official. And it seems like sci-fi is going to be the next big thing with all these studios. He has been cooking up something for quite a while, because you're right, he did not direct Ragnarok. That was Eric Williams who did that. And looking at it, I think that, like, he's clearly up to something. If they're being so cagey about it, it's going to be a big deal whenever it comes out, I think, bottom line. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an Atreyu side story, or what's his name? What's
Atreyu? That'd be fucking funny.
A never-ending story. What the fuck? What was the kid's name? Atreus, yeah. I was close. It might be like an Atreus story, or what if it's like your Zeus or something? Or what if it's, it could be something with all of that. I don't know. No one really knows, obviously. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up on the show for the first news point. Something to get our brains, a little brain teaser, a little thought experiment. But that being said, Jake, next up, there's a full gameplay reveal coming for Ghost of Yōtei. And Sucker Punch.
It's already out.
Oh, is it out? When did it come out?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it on, I think, Friday.
Oh, shit.
Friday or
so
Saturday?
I missed it. Well, I didn't realize it was out. All right. But anyways, I know the first gameplay reveal, Jake, when we both saw it, it kind of broke our necks, so to speak. We were pretty impressed with it. It made us want to look at Ghost of Tsushima. So I guess since you've watched it, I want to hear what you have to say without spoiling anything.
Dude, kind of the same thing. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Watching it, I really want to fucking play this game. It's very... I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it looks that much better than Ghost of Tsushima or whatever. It does almost look like it's a lot bigger. But just like seeing sort of the game and the combat, and they have like they talk about some weird mechanics where you can like when she's back in her home village, you can switch with a touch of a button back and forth between like when she was a kid and when she's an adult to like see different parts of the story. And like they had some really interesting ideas as far as like the I don't remember if the Ghost of Tsushima was like this, but like when she's running, like you remember in Ghost of Tsushima, one of the cool things about it was that there was no like waypoints and stuff. It was like the wind would guide you to like the next destination or whatever it is. So they're kind of continuing that a little bit. And I don't remember if it was like this in the other game, but like she'll be running through a field with the horse, and if she runs in like patches of flowers, it gives the horse like a speed boost kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Where like they don't like really talk about, like they don't really put this shit on the map where it's like glowing arrows that you run over and you get a speed boost or whatever. It seems like they're really continuing sort of the theme of immersion in this game. And even down to like doing the like the hot springs and like the sword practice kind of things and some of that kind of stuff. There was this, I'm trying to remember, there's like something cool where you like have the ability to like interrogate people that you defeat in duels, and it kind of like how you interrogate them sort of dictates the way that the game unfolds. Oh. It's kind of interesting. Like I don't really know how to describe it. And I'm sorry, you'll have to give me a little bit of patience because like my nose is super clogged from my allergies. So like I'm running out of breath. But
yeah. Well, I looked up some of the interrogation things, and I didn't watch the gameplay thing that you watched, the reveal. Whatever they want to call it. Was it a state of play?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't even know what happened. I've been so busy over here. But they say that the interrogation system allows you to like uncover quests, apparently.
It seems like
mission
they're
options.
Yeah. There's like these like cards and stuff that you collect, and like these they call it like the path of the whatever, and they're like these different like interrogation paths that you go down, because the whole concept of the game is you're trying to find this group of guys that killed your whole family or whatever when you were a kid. I don't know, some fucking trite shit, but like the whole idea, the whole mechanic of the game is like you trying to find these people. So you interrogate these guys, and it puts you on these paths of like interrogation and investigation that you kind of go down, and it unlocks these different missions and things like that. And it just seems super cool. And like the combat seems like they're amplifying it in that there are different weapon styles, which I think they had in the first game, but I don't remember this in that, like, depending on the type of weapon or the type of enemy that you're fighting against, you have to switch, like, weapon styles to, like, what best is suited to fight, like, to counter the weapon of the enemy that you're fighting against. Yeah. And you can do this on the fly. So, like, they have these... they showcase some of this stuff, like one where it's like these dual swords. And it has like a really cool fucking unique style to it for like dealing with dudes that have pole arms. But then like guys that are, brutes and stuff, you use like the really big, almost like bastard sword version of a katana that you fight them with, where it does a lot more damage. And then they have like those people who are familiar with Japanese kind of weaponry, probably, or even have seen movies and stuff, probably have recognized like it's almost like a sickle on a chain. You know what I'm talking about? Where you can like whip it around and stuff. Like they have like that as one of the abilities. So there's all of this like really cool customization, it seems, to the combat. And I don't know, just like as I was watching it, the whole time I'm watching the gameplay, I'm just like, man, this looks so fucking rad. Even like they bring back some awesome things about the first game that like were just so cool. Like, remember in the first game where you would like you would encounter like a group of enemies and somebody would like square off against you, and you would like get into a stance and they would like charge you, and you would press like the quick attack button, and Jin would like pull his sword real quick and just like lop their fucking arm off, and they would just stand there and like their arm is just like bleeding out and shit. It's so like it has not lost any of that like samurai spirit.
I'm gonna have to watch
that is in this game. But it's like, you know, it's kind of a tale of vengeance, which I guess the first game kind of is too. But yeah, I would watch it. It definitely invigorated. I mean, I was sort of just kind of lukewarm on this game. I figured I was gonna play it because I liked the first one, but I only ever played the first game once. Like, it didn't really, you know, as much as I liked it, it didn't. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it was my favorite game ever. But just like the state of play for the first one, this state of play really has me excited to play this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm super stoked on it.
Well, I was looking at some of the critical takes on the Push Square post while you were talking, and I'm just gonna pull a couple out real quick. Some other takes on it that maybe weren't as positive as maybe what you're bringing to the table, and I haven't even watched it. But some people were saying the swordplay looks good, but the AI were taking smoke breaks. And then somebody,
how can you fucking tell?
I don't
from
know.
A trailer?
This is what people were saying. And then another person said it felt stiff, like early PS4. I hope they polish it more. Now, these people tendency in the video game world tend to be harsh. And somebody said not bad. Ghost of Tsushima still looks cleaner in motion. And then somebody else said really like the style, but it doesn't give next gen vibes. But very interested still. So I don't know.
I mean, it definitely does have like this is an iteration of a PS4 game kind of vibe to it. But
that's not what made the game awesome. Were the graphics,
dude? I feel like people just they see this, they see a new first party PlayStation game, and they expect it to look like The Last of Us Part 2 or something. Yeah. And it's like,
right.
This game is not The Last of Us Part 2. First of all, it looks like a huge... No, I'm not trying to... I haven't played the game. I'm not trying to, blow smoke up its ass or anything too bad. But it's like, this is a huge, presumably huge open world game. You're not going to have a game... I mean, granted, Horizon Forbidden West was pretty, but like... Dude, I don't know. I mean... Why are we being so critical? I mean, about just, you don't know anything about it yet. You just play the game. I guess you have nothing to criticize so far but the visuals.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I think that, like, dude, I'm so just over visual fidelity at this point. Dude, I just got done playing Doom the Dark Ages on a Series S, and it was, like, blurry the whole fucking time. And I had a blast playing it. So,
yeah.
I'm just like... The game looks super fun to play. There's like the environment looks really cool to run around in. They do this like thing where they're talking about the customizing like the look of I can't remember the name of the character from the new game, what her name is. But they're showing like the different costumes and outfits that she can have and like armor sets and stuff. They're all radically different, like really cool fucking shit. Unlike I felt like Ghost of Tsushima was a little bit more like down the middle as far as like samurai / ninja kind of outfits go. And now, granted, I have not played it since it came out in 2020, so please don't hold me to that. But this game feels like it's going to have a little bit more customization, a little bit more character building, a little bit, personal builds for your character, not necessarily like, I'm sure the character building as far as the story goes is fine. But like, it just, I don't know. It seems like a proper iteration on Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't know if you were to look at this and then actually go back, if you were to play this and actually go back and play Ghost of Tsushima, if you would really still believe that like Ghost of Tsushima looks better or feels better or plays better. I just don't see how that's even possible.
Yeah, right. I'm with you.
Because they're iterating on the game.
I'm with you.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think it looks great. I'm excited for it. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
Very good, man. Well, I'm going to watch it. I'll let you know what I think next episode. Sorry, excuse me for the yawn. How rude of me. The third part of the podcast, Jake, third news story is PlayStation Plus has hit its 15-year milestone. Sony says they're just getting started. Be a good opportunity for us to maybe talk briefly about where the service is now. We don't need to go into all the details where we think it needs to go or anything like that. Just premium, feel like premium, those kinds of things. But do you think PS Plus Extra is worth it in 2025?
I think so. I mean, they just added freaking Cyberpunk and, a bunch of other top tier games to it. If you're not someone who's buying brand new games every time they come out and you're just coming onto the surface and you want some games to play, dude, 100% is it totally worth it. I would even argue if it wasn't for like the Microsoft first party stuff being day and date on Game Pass, that PS Plus Extra might even have a better offering than Game Pass does.
Yeah.
So, that's the big draw of Game Pass is you get all of the first party shit with it. You get Halo, you get Gears, you get fucking Indiana Jones, you get Doom, you get whatever, Diablo 4, you get all this stuff. But I'm kind of curious, Plus Extra game catalog June 2025. I'm just curious.
Well, dude, Extra, we get Banisher's Ghost of New Eden.
Yeah, that was another one. I was actually interested in maybe even playing that.
Yeah.
It's
Risk
like
of Rain
maybe
2.
Another game to play.
Yeah. Dude, there's a couple on here that look pretty interesting. And then July 22nd, we're getting the Abiotic Factor, whatever the heck that is. That's that sci-fi survival crafting game. And then Cyberpunk, as you mentioned, which is the next news point, actually, is it dropped for the 15th anniversary celebration. And it's free to Extra and Premium members now. So now Essentials is the bare minimum. And, in order to get that, the Cyberpunk, you got to be upgraded to the second tier. But I would also say that I think that it's... I think that it's worth it, man. If you have the money, I mean, it's all relative to what kind of money you have, what kind of disposable income you have and how often you're actually playing your games and what kind of options you want, you know what I mean? So Banishers looks good. I don't know. That
dude, just real quick. You've got, if you're into shooters, Battlefield 1 is on there. That game is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Bloodborne's on, obviously, like a lot of the Sony stuff, like Bloodborne's on there, which is really great. I mean, obviously there's shit on there that like, people aren't going to care about so much as far as like the indie stuff goes. But, you've got like City Skylines is on there, which is like an interesting kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You could play Control, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, Days Gone, Cyberpunk now, Dead Cells is on there, Death Stranding, Director's Cut is on there, Deliver Us the Moon, which I think you liked, right?
Yeah, I did like it. I don't think it's for everyone, but I liked it.
Yeah, Demon's Souls Remastered, like the remake of Demon's Souls, the Dishonored's on there, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the Doom games are on there, fucking PGA Tour of the Masters is on there, Dying Light 2 is on there. Mm-hmm. Dude, there's like, and I'm just like skipping over all of these other games in the middle that people aren't going to recognize. Everybody's Golf, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to offer for, what is it, $150 a year now or something like that. It's not a small amount of money. It might not be that much. But and I will admit, I mean, that seems like a lot. But dude, if that's all that you had was game, like you could play, if you weren't up to date on everything and played everything, you could conceivably only have a PS Plus Extra subscription, never have to buy a game, and you're getting it for ostensibly what, like $11 a month?
So there's
$12 a month.
It's $14.99 a month. So
that's if you do it monthly, though.
Yeah,
if you buy it yearly, I think it's $150.
And you can now buy it quarterly, I believe, which is $40 a quarter.
Right.
I think.
Right. So, yeah, extra is $134.99 for 12 months, and it's $40 for 3 months, which is a quarter. And then obviously, if you want to upgrade to the full like $160 a year, you can get the premium, which has all the classics and stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of VR stuff behind there too that is only available on the premium. But dude, if you pay for 12 months of it, $134, that's less than 2 brand new games. Less than 2 brand new games. And you get, for a year, you get a ton of games at your disposal. Now, obviously, if you've played all these games, it's not worth it to you because you're not using the game catalog. But if you're just worried about saves and things like that, then just get Essential. But I think for like the run-of-the-mill gamer that doesn't, that wants to experience a lot of new stuff, that maybe doesn't have the money to spend, $70 for a new game every single month, like, this is a great deal. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I feel about it. I do kind of miss the old days, like the OG PS Plus days, where it was like, for base PS Plus, which was like whatever, $50 or $60 a year, you had like a catalog. Remember, you had a catalog of like 30 games, and then like every month they would like swap out 1 or 2 of those games. Yeah. It's almost like us, like, we're going full circle, where originally the free games on PS Plus was kind of like extra to like a smaller degree. And then they neutered it, so it was only like 4 games a month that you got, or 5-6 games a month that you got. And now they're going back to, it's like, okay, now we have this plan where it's like this group of games that we have again, where we're cycling stuff in and out, but it's a lot more money, but you get a lot more games of higher quality as well. So, it's interesting. I mean, I still think it's worth it, even at $134.99 a year.
Yeah.
But I do understand that it's not for everybody if you don't utilize the games catalog. But I usually play a couple of games out of that catalog every year, and that's enough to justify my upgrade to extra. So I don't know. Like I said, not for everyone, but I don't think it's a bad deal.
It's not for everyone. I agree, man. It's good. I think the value is there, and then even if you are an extra subscriber, you still have access to, obviously, the Essentials games, and just throw them in your library, dude. You can always downgrade to Essentials and still keep those Essential games. So even if you're an extra, make sure you're putting those Essential games in your card every month in your library, so to speak. But yeah, anyways, we're not going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 in the game catalog, and I just axed a news point because it was carryover from another show that we did. So I got one left, and speaking of PlayStation Plus, Sony announced that beginning in January 2026, PlayStation Plus will deprioritize PS4 titles in favor of PS5 games, reflecting the platform's shifting usage trends. This was
damn. It only took 6 fucking years.
Yeah, Video Games Chronicle,
or 5 technically,
indicates that, and it also says that means that PS4 games will still occasionally appear, but they're not going to be the central feature. Though any titles already redeemed will remain usable, of course, and it's a strategic pivot that signals their confidence in the PS5 install base at this point, and a sign of the service's future direction. So I'm more than okay with this. And as I was cleaning out my attic, dude, I have found so much stuff. And, dude, I had like original, perfectly in place. I got rid of I had the Libertalia collection, or Libertalia edition of Uncharted 4, the big ass box that those games were coming in. I chucked the box, dude. There's no need to have that still. I got rid of the box. Found my original VR headset, perfect condition. I found an old PlayStation 4 Guitar Hero controller and dongle. What else did I find that was cool? I found an old Atari in my attic, the 2700. I believe is what it was.
2600 probably.
Yeah, maybe. And it still works. And I had like a fart ton of games with it. I found my old Sega Genesis, my original NES. What else did I find? I have a PS3 that is overheating, but I think the heatsink just needs remelted. We were going to do that one time, Jake. We never got to it.
Yeah.
I might try to revitalize that just to do it. What else? I don't know, man. There was so much stuff that I had found. Because I'd gotten a lot of stuff up in my attic from my parents from when I was living there as a kid. You know, so I found all these old WWF wrestlers that I had, G.I. Joes, Guts, Muscle Men, Thundercats, Voltron figures, just He-Man, a litany of... I found a ton of baseball cards, Garbage Pail Kids. It was awesome. All that shit's really cool. And then I found a ton of old tour photos and stuff, which was really fun too. Looking at some of those pictures was nice. But yeah, dude, so I don't know. I kind of on a tangent, as you would say, Jake, but I found a lot of cool stuff, but I did find some PlayStation shit. And I still have that PS1 down here somewhere, the unopened PS1. I don't know where I put it. It's probably in safekeeping at this point. Maybe I moved it. But that was cool. And what else? There's all kinds of cool video game shit I found today that I forgot I had. I have an old Game Boy Color. It's really good. It's like sapphire red. And I've got a ton of games for it. Of course, I had my original Vita box, almost pristine condition. I chucked the box. I didn't need it. Just fucking cluttered.
I still have my Game Boy Color. I have a yellow one. Because I was thinking about just kind of putting together. I think we were looking at a website not that long ago, maybe a couple months ago, a podcast that values retro games and stuff, and they have the ability to make an account on there, and you can like put like the games, like your games, or maybe it's in price chart or something. You have the ability to like make an account and like put the games you have in there and sort of see what the value of your collection is and stuff. And I went and I got all of my old SNES stuff and like my Game Boy stuff out in my PS3 and PS2 and PS1 and all this stuff, and I kind of like took pictures of all of it because I was going to make an account, and then I never did it. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun digging through that stuff. And I do, like, I still occasionally pull out my Super Nintendo and play it.
That's cool.
Well, now that I have my Steam Deck that has an emulator on it, I don't know if there's much reason to, but it is nice being on the big TV with the, playing some... to be honest with you, like, I'll just get it out and literally all I do is play Super Mario World or Super Mario All-Stars on it. Yeah. Like, that's pretty much the only thing I ever use it for. Mm-hmm. But that's just because that's, arguably my favorite game of all time. Which is hilarious because it's the first video game that was ever purchased for me was Super Mario World. So I take with that what you will. Or take, whatever. But... yeah, so it's fun occasionally going through all that stuff, but then you also kind of realize just how much shit you have.
Oh, dude, I know. I was looking at,
and it's like, what am I doing with all this? Dude, I want to chuck my PSVR 1. I want to chuck it so bad. Yeah. But it's like I can't get rid of this thing. It's like there aren't that many of these out there, and what am I gonna get for it? Nothing. I don't want to throw it away. Yeah. So it's like I guess I'll just fucking store it. And
that's how I am with a lot of my stuff.
Maybe in like 50 years, someone will be like, "Oh, this fucking PSVR 1. Very few of them exist anymore, so it's worth $1,000 or something." And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I got that."
Which will be a tank of gas.
It's like, well, it's useless because I don't have a freaking PS4 or a camera or anything. It's not like, like a Meta Quest or something where you can like play it by itself.
It's not like a standalone thing. Yeah. I don't remember some of those consoles, you didn't need a game in them. You could just turn them on and play the default game. That was a thing for a while. Like there was just no disc. It was just like, what was the thing? Yeah, the Atari that I found, I think I sent to you and LJ a picture of it. It had like 4 kilobytes of RAM or something. Something just absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, you sent the little game collection. It had all the classics, like fucking Joust was in there.
Yeah,
I saw,
dude.
which is kind of cool.
You'd think that stuff would be worth something. It's not, though. It's not really worth anything.
Yeah, they printed so much of it. I mean, that console was like really popular. It was like the cause of the whole fucking gaming crash in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
Spider-Man.
there's a ton of that shit.
Spider-Man, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. I'm looking at the list of all the games I had in this holder. There were some that... just a game called Football. Combat. Game called Combat. There's Sword Quest, Joust, Video Pinball, Defender, Phoenix, Target Fun, Kung Fu Master, Pole Position, Omega Race, Star Raiders. All good names. Space Invaders, maybe the original cartridge, I don't know. Ice Hockey. Dragonfire was a great game. Mario Brothers, which is crazy. And then Vanguard, Astroblast, Galaxian. Gopher was fun. I loved Gopher. That was a good game. That was like the original SteamWorld Dig. Golf. What does this one say? Super Challenge.
Dude, I didn't even know.
Baseball.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know they released Mario Brothers on Atari.
Dude, it's the one where isn't it the one where the barrels go down?
It's Donkey Kong.
Oh, all right.
That's Donkey Kong.
Then yeah, I have Mario Brothers on Atari. I should look that shit up and see what that's worth. I have Donkey Kong Jr. It is the 2600. Frogs and Flies. That was a fun game. The Calico, Donkey Kong, and then Empire Strikes Back. What's this one on the side here? Big Air Sea Battle. Oh, Rampage. I have the Rampage cartridge. That's fucking awesome. And then there's some that you can't see that are buried, but the old joysticks.
Dude, this is fucking funny, man.
Mario Brothers?
Yeah, I'm watching like video of Atari Mario Brothers on Atari. It is hysterical compared to like the actual original freaking Mario Brothers on NES.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's a terrible game.
It's like the whole game is like that remember there's that mini game where it had like the pound block in the middle, and then there would be like all the things like coming down that you had to avoid.
Yeah. Dude, look at what it's selling for. That's insane. Just the cartridge on eBay says $899. Was this like a really rare game? Did someone buy this? Dude, if I can get a couple $1,000s for this cartridge, I would definitely do it. Is it rare?
This says price charting has Mario Brothers for the Atari 2600 listed as complete in box $75.
Okay. So loose,
I mean,
on
still,
Amazon,
it's still
like
worth something.
$30. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still worth something, but it's not worth $800. Maybe if it was like pristine mint, unopened, like even price charting has the like new in box listing for like $550. So it is worth something if it's completely unopened, but that's not what you're talking about.
No, I don't have that. I just have the cartridge. I don't know.
Here's a 1983 Atari 5200 Mario Brothers graded A+ sealed for $1,300.
That's fucking rad. Most Atari 2600 games don't have a title screen. Mario Brothers does.
Wow.
That's so crazy they didn't have title screens, man. Oh, I can't even stand it. Anyways, man, I digress. Let's get into some new games coming out this week, and then we'll close up the show. New games. Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition, PS5, July 15th. So tomorrow, recording this on the 14th. This is a remake of the classic RPG, updated visuals, restored expansions. Eden's Zero on July 15th. This is an anime adaptation featuring full 3D graphics and story following the original Eden's Zero arc. There is Eric Shom, The Stolen Dream on July 15th. It's a narrative-driven, isometric stealth mystery. You search for a missing sibling in a dark, atmospheric city. Ready or Not, July 15th. A tactical SWAT-style shooter, putting you in the shoes of law enforcement, responding to high-risk scenarios. Neon Needles on PS5 and PS4, July 16th. A neon-drenched cyberpunk stealth heist game tied to your lost identity in a world obsessed with futuristic cuisine. And lastly, A Red Walking Robot, a quirky physics-based robot simulator that challenges you to guide a little robot through workshop trials. What do you think?
I think that Ready or Not game is like I don't know if it's supposed to be like a Rainbow Six Siege kind of styled game, but I've heard that it's something that's been popular on PC. I don't know if that's something that people will gravitate to on PlayStation, but Neverwinter Nights, it's cool PC, like CRPG, kind of RPG game from the early 2000s. Has a lot of heritage, so that's something that people might be interested in. I definitely would be interested in maybe revisiting it, but it's a little bit deep, so I don't know if I'm really up to the task. But other than that, I don't know that I have any other comments about this list.
Yeah, I don't really have anything either. Hoping to get some Death Stranding 2 in tonight. I might go for a walk this evening. We'll see. Contemplating it if it cools down a little bit. I would like to jump back in and make a few more deliveries. Maybe push the story forward a little bit. But that's all we have for the podcast. Jake, is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap things up?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just going to keep kind of trucking along, doing some Lies of P. Maybe I'll start Death Stranding. I don't know. I probably could do Death Stranding and Lies of P at the same time, but I know myself, and those games both being third-person, action-y kind of games, I'm just going to gravitate towards one, and I'm going to completely ignore the other one. So I don't know that I'm... Oh, here's something you can comment on. I was listening to some stuff about Death Stranding 2, and from what I've heard, they completely fucked up the controls in the game. And it kind of makes me really irritated.
That's interesting.
Because, like, why? So, like, they moved what the reload button is, and they moved what, like, the button is that, like, picks stuff up and things like that. And it's like, we figured this out. We know what the reload button is supposed to be in a shooter. It's always square. It's square in every fucking game. Why did you move it to circle?
Wait, what is square?
And so usually in a shooter, square would be your reload button.
Yeah, right.
For like reloading your guns. Yeah. But I've heard that in Death Stranding 2, he moved it to circle, even though it's square in Death Stranding 1. So I don't understand.
Dude, it's weird. Go ahead, keep going. Yeah,
it annoys me. It just annoys me when games feel like some. To me, it feels like a pretentious need to like differentiate yourself by changing the fucking controls, and it's like the controls keep them the way like. It's not like when I go buy a new car that's a different brand that they put the fucking gas pedal on the left and the brake on the right because they want to be avant-garde about it. It's like, no, this is how we control a fucking car. This is how I control a fucking third-person shooter. Why are you changing the controls? Sorry, that was... For somebody who hasn't played the game and just read something about this, I'm a little bit heated, but please tell me about it.
I haven't played the first one in a while, but I will confirm that circle reloads. But when I'm playing it, it feels natural. That's where my brain is trained to go to reload when I'm playing this game. Like, I didn't even notice the controls are weird. Square will grab the rope and grab the ladder. X jumps. Let me think what the other button.
But it's like one of the other things I heard was fucking like LR1 or something like that is crouch now. It's like, dude, there's never ever in the history of ever been a video game where R1 is crouch and circle is reload. This is just like one of those things where Kojima is just being different. And I appreciate the gamesmanship. I find it fucking annoying as a video game player. Yes, I agree with you. I'm sure that after I play it for about an hour and a half or 2 hours, it'll be second nature. I won't think about it anymore. But it's like, this makes it so I can't go back and forth between a game like Lies of P and Death Stranding 2. Because I got to completely remap my fucking brain every single time I switch between two games.
Do you know what crouch was in Metal Gear 5?
I don't remember.
X. It must be a fucking Kojima thing.
Yeah, which is also ridiculous. I mean, I believe, but like, I think he was pretty normal in Death Stranding. Like, I think crouch was circle, which is pretty run of the mill for PlayStation games.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, to be honest though, like, I also found it kind of weird that in Uncharted, R1 is reload. That never really made sense to me. But you get used to it. You're playing the game. It doesn't really affect you at all anymore.
I haven't thought twice about the controls, but you are right. Maybe they aren't really traditional, but I'm not jumping into it right after the first Death Stranding, so it doesn't really.
But don't you think it's like weird? It's like, why are you doing this?
Dude, I
like,
expected it to be fucking weird, though, because it's a Kojima game. I just accepted it. I was just like, okay, this is...
I guess, but...
I hadn't played one of his games
give me an option.
Forever. Yeah, no, I agree.
Just give me an option, man.
You might have
change it to like normal people controls.
I don't disagree with your logic. I just, at the same time,
like next that Fizzant's gonna come out and you're gonna have to use a special controller made out of a dildo or something to play that game.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Except that controller. The controller will be called the Fizzant.
Yeah, the Fizzant.
It's like move the Fizzant with your hand, and you like
you gotta wiggle it at the TV screen.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, right. Sorry. I know you were trying to stop the show. That was something that popped into my brain because I was thinking about Death Stranding, and then when I heard that, I was talking to my brother yesterday. I didn't even think to ask him about it because he's playing it right now, and but I don't know. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about this game. So
is your brother is playing it?
He is playing it, yeah.
It's so good. We need to have a big...
Yeah. Dude, my brother is way more hardcore about... Like, he doesn't play probably as many different games as I do.
Yeah.
But he gets way more hardcore about the games he's actually playing. Yeah. Like, and part of it is, like, my nephew will watch him play games and, like, wants him to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, watch him do things. So, like... My nephew got really into Expedition 33. He liked like all the music and like the characters and the different things. Like he doesn't grasp the gravity of the game because he's fucking 6.
Yeah.
But like he enjoys the visuals and the music and the different moves and everything. And because he's like asking my brother to replay things and do all this stuff, like dude, Josh fucking platinumed that game and like has like restarted a new playthrough again. That's and like wild. Is doing all this stuff. And, like, he did the same thing with Astrobot, and now he's, like, Death Stranding. He's probably going to do the same shit with that. But, yeah, he'll know that game way more deeply than I ever could.
I'm glad he's enjoying it, because it's... I would love to sit and talk with him about what he's doing. He's probably way further in than I am, but every time I think I get all...
I think he just started it.
Yeah.
I think he just started it. You're probably ahead of him, because he was playing Expedition, so...
Yeah.
He just told me he bought it a few days ago, so...
It's so good. It's unreal.
I don't know if you have his number or not. You could always just text him.
I don't know. I might, because we're doing the Dark Pictures Anthology games together every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I have his phone number. I'll check and see, but... All right, well, I got nothing else for the listeners, so that's it for episode 385. If you enjoyed the show, do us a favor, tell a friend, about the show, and we'll be back next week, unless we get sucked into Death Stranding 2 for real, and we end up delivering some pizza in the rain or something weird like that. But until then, keep your PS5 cool, your expectations lower, and your save files backed up, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with 3D6 next week. Like Oddworld, Soulstorm, Outriders, and Overcooked All You Can Eat. P.S.
Yes.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.